Hi everyone, how are you? I think that I'm live. Yes, I am. How are you? Welcome to smART stART on this Wednesday, June 10th, and it is 6 p.m. in New York City. And I'm finishing up, my friends, from a very long day. Very, very long day indeed. A very rewarding day, but very long day. We're doing a lot of work. I'm in the art world and I'm at the intersection of art dealing, art education, curating, a lot of things. And hey, Jean. And so much of my work is on Zoom and just interfacing right now as we're just opening up after COVID. So I have been sitting at this computer since early this morning. Yeah, had an interesting day though. So hello, Clyde, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, art friends. We have art friends here. So please make yourself known to me. Feel free to chat. This is about looking is learning, right? My hashtag looking is learning. We're looking at art. And so, yeah, Kip, wow. Kip, so nice to have you here. My friends, William, my son, just poured me a glass of wine because truly I need it today. Having an MRI tomorrow on a very bad, I'm not sure, frozen shoulder with bursitis, or a shoulder that has been dislocated, but we'll find out. Anyway, that notwithstanding, taught a class today to my young students. Cultivating Cultures is a class that I host myself. And it's a long class. We had about a 2-hour class today. And I'm teaching the students, started this, a lot of history in the intersection of art and history. To this next 4-week segment, we're really looking at art history. And for very young students, that's really something. Yay, William, right, Kip? In fact, cheers, everybody. And most children don't get art history. They're not the recipients of it. They get it. They just aren't the recipients of it. And so we did a study segment on the Greeks. We did the Indus Valley. We did, no, not the Indus Valley yet. We did ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt. And so I wanted to jump a little bit and start thinking about art history and when did art history begin and such. So we started with Vasari, and that's been great fun. And I've given the students some artists that I think that they should look at. And my one student, 10 years old, my friends, I gave him Birchfield to look at. And he put together a slideshow today for the class. And he wrote a little bit of Birchfield a la Vasari. It was so fabulous, and he led the discussion, and it made me feel so good and so proud. And so I thought, let's look at some Birchfield, and particularly I chose his houses for this student. But we also we cast a wide net and looked at a lot of other Birchfields and things. But oh my goodness, I was so captured. I was so excited about seeing what this group of children said about Birchfield's work. I thought it was amazing. And so Clyde says, I did when I was young. In fact, I am so glad to know that, Charles, because I did not get any art history till I walked into the Whitney Museum. Well, no art history, but until I walked into the Whitney Museum and saw Jonathan Borofsky's show back in 1983. That changed the trajectory of my life. I did not know from art or art history. So it's always been my desire to bring that to children as young as possible. A lot of the comments the kids made, I was so taken by it because then we really jumped back down into it. Jumped into his work in this kind of, they kept telling me it's ominous, it's foreboding. The house is alive. The house is haunted. Nobody lives in that house. There's eyes in the house, and all of that. And starting to think about, how Birchfield really anthropomorphized his houses. I love that one student was saying how the tree just melts into the sidewalk. you know, and how it looks like there's a river out front, and how the tree comes right out of the house in the roof. Yeah. The tree just comes right out from under the roof, and the tree is taken over the house. Just love that. It made looking at his house. I mean, I love Birchfield, and it just made looking at his work even more exciting. Yeah. Yeah, you thought the house was haunted, right? For me, grade school and high school. That's fantastic, Clyde. And you're young. So it's really good. You're young now and you were young then. So yay, you've gotten a whole lifetime of art history. Yeah, you feel like the house is haunted. Another comment they came up with that I thought was really remarkable was that the house is moving. The house is also like a train, and it has eyes. It has kind of a face. I just love this. And when I asked them, why do you think the house is moving? How is it that, and they said that, which I found really fantastic, that you can't see wind. You could see the effects of wind. Yeah. Charles, hi, yay, cheers. Charles is here with us tonight. How are you? Great to have you all here. Great to have you all here. That you could see the effect of the wind kind of pushing the house. Yeah. I really enjoyed this with the students today. It was great fun. This is another one. This one I found just after my class, and just wanted to take a look at this with you. Empty Barns and Sheds. You know what I find so fascinating about this artist is that these are all watercolor. Yeah, I find that really fascinating. And they're just such incredible work. I wanted to read you a little bit about Birchfield. I know I've covered him in other shows, but I thought it would be... according to Birchfield's friend and colleague, Edward Hopper, the work of Charles Birchfield is most decidedly found not on art, but on life, and the life that he knows and loves best. Birchfield has been more recently described as the mystic, cryptic painter of transcendental landscapes, trees, telekinetic halos, and haunted houses emanating ectoplasmic auras. Jerry Saltz suggests that his influence was Van Gogh, Marston Hartley, John Marin. You know, it's interesting because one of my young students said that to use the word aura. I had not known that Jerry Saltz used that word. Yeah, so good. That's interesting, Charles. I have heard other people describe their houses that they've grown up in as ships, and so that, yeah, I think that's really interesting that you saw your house like that. I wanted to share with you something else that I found about him, and I just have to find my notes on it. Of course, that'll never be easy if you've seen my desktop anytime recently. I'll never find it. Let me see if I can find it in there. And what else did you say? I'm still learning this whole new system. I see the Van Gogh in Birchfield. Yeah, I do. I see it as well. I agree with you on that. I find it so fascinating that he really has this really beautiful and foreboding sense about nature, but something about the house for him is really fascinating. Yeah. All right, I want to show you another one. Oh, there was this quote I really wanted to get. I think I can find it. Look at this one. I think this is so... first of all, just even the title, Dreaming of Christmas. It's an interesting kind of Christmas. Take a look at that and let me see if I can't find my quote. I'll never find it. But yeah, I think that the Dreaming of Christmas here, this watercolor, small watercolor, love the chimney. Love the lights that are coming out of the chimney. Yeah, I want to see. Gee, is my feed still okay or is it slow? You thinking? I want to make sure that it's shifting. I'm seeing that it's not shifting yet. But maybe it will in a moment. Are we seeing my feed, everybody? If you can give me a thumbs up, that would be really great. Really great. All right, so feed is good. Okay, did the picture change yet? Did the picture change to the Christmas? The picture isn't changing fast enough. Let me see if I can change it again. Maybe just jump. Oh, there, I'm sorry. It didn't change because, my friends, I didn't change it as I'm sitting here. It was just a sip of wine, everybody. That's all I've had yet. It's just a sip of wine, although it seems like I've had much more than that. Yeah. Loud and clear. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So look at this, right? Dreaming of Christmas. Interesting dreaming. Great piece, though. Great piece. I love how the tree just takes over the entire house, right up to that chimney. So much fun. And still ominous, foreboding, all of those great adjectives that the kids kept talking about today. They really enjoyed that. They really enjoyed the spooky quality of his work, which I thought was so much fun for them to kind of get into this and that kind of, yeah, spooky quality. I wanted to see if there was one more thing that I wanted to say to you. Yeah, I had a really good quote, but now I don't have it. And so my friends, my little 10-year-old who wrote this little piece about Charles Birchfield, this is what he wrote. It's so sweet. 10 years old, writing art history. When I was looking at all the Birchfield's works, I noticed they seemed to mature from his early works to his later works. His brushstrokes seemed to be more subtle in his later work and had more definition. Throughout all his work, there is an ominous feeling. Now, Clyde, this might not mean a lot to you as a child prodigy of art history, but I have to tell you, I thought this was extraordinary. And this is the group that I'm teaching are homeschool kids, so I really love it. Oh my God, Charles, I didn't even notice the people on the couch until you just said that right now, because I just found this piece recently. Look at that. They're sitting on that couch looking at the fire. I love that. Thank you for that. Yeah, so good. And the fire feels warm. Yeah. Yeah, and the tree just goes, it reverberates in the house as kind of this shadow, right? We see the tree from the opening of the house, but then we almost see the outline of it. I really don't know even what that is. Yeah, it is a magical feeling. And I also love the eyes in the background. You want your kid to, you know what, Clyde, I'm going to show them your work. I'm going to bring your work to my students and have them do a little art history thing. I love that. Charles, yours too. And Kip, yours too. Look at the house in the background. And this is what the kids are talking about. The house has eyes. It has eyes. And then they tell me that the branches, we talked a lot about nature. I didn't put any of those pieces here. But for example, these pieces, they talk about the patterns on the trees. And they started deciphering these patterns. I was so amazed. And they started, and you know, these kids are extremely fluid in Zoom and all of these media, on all of these interactive programs that I'm teaching on now. And so they'll take their markers and they'll mark up the picture plane in a way that just tells me exactly what they're talking about at the moment. So they'll start making connections with patterning in the trees and then in the branches and then in the backgrounds. It's extraordinary what they're able to do. I'm captivated by them. And I can give them work that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily think that being an art history background myself. Like, for example, I had one girl look at Amy Sherald's one of her portraits of an African American girl and such. You know what? I'll show this tomorrow. And then we immediately juxtaposed it to Whistler's Madame X. And it was just, what an amazing conversation that was. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing today, guys. So I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm so happy that this feed is really starting to work. I was able to post this onto my Facebook page. So anybody that wants to, you could go to the top and just share this, and people can come to this from Facebook still. But yeah, we're going to start growing this, and it's very exciting. Clyde and Charles, you were saying yesterday that you preferred this medium of YouTube. So I'm glad that it's working. Please keep me posted on that if it's working for you. Kip, really want to hear your feedback in that. Jean, of course, I always want to hear your feedback, and we'll continue to go forward with YouTube. And it's interesting, you guys, because I'm hearing that we have a lot more viewers, that people are reaching out to me apart from just this feed, and they're contacting me on Facebook. Yeah, Clyde, thank you. I am tired. It is. It's tiresome in the sense that, when I'm working with, like, on my one show, my one group this morning at 2:30, I had 9 kids, and I want to give them all the same amount of attention. And so, yes, it is very tiresome. And then just before that, I had a meeting at the cathedral, again, Zoom. And we're in breakout rooms and building curriculums and coming up with all new ways of imparting the history of the cathedral in New York and such. So, yeah. So now I get to drink my wine and have dinner. So, Clyde, I saw the picture of the baby. Absolutely gorgeous. 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 Congratulations. Yeah. Today I checked on yesterday's and love that the comments chat. Yeah, me too. Great. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, everyone, I will see you tomorrow evening. Thank you so much for joining me. What do I want to say about Birchfield? I just love Birchfield. I just love this artist so much. And what's the truth of the matter? America is haunted. Yeah, there's the ghosts of the past that we're all living with. So, everyone have a great evening. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.